Well, I would say it's not as impressive as a Charger from the 60s or the 70s.
There's not many cars that you can get with almost 700 horsepower, all-wheel drive, for under $500 a month.
There's something about car culture that's a little bit intangible.
This is the future of muscle cars, as they say.
This is literally the worst thing I've ever touched in a car.
It's got a lot more performance and a lot more excitement.
I would say that this does have more personality.
It's a bit more rock and roll.
It offends the car culture is really what it does, which
Correct.
I think, that's the most important part of this car to me to talk about. So
Now, can I tell you one other thing?
sure.
That was only track mode.
Okay.
We have drag mode.
Oh boy.
We have 30 more horsepower.
Oh
to
my
use.
gosh.
Holy. It's the Dukes of Hazzard beats the Jetsons.
Yeah.
Hello friends and neighbors, welcome back to Chase Classic Motors. My name's Ross,
And I'm Eric.
and we serve and protect great cars. And Eric, I think we may be entering an alternate dimension in this episode, because what have we got here?
Yeah, well, we've got a Charger here, but not the kind you probably think of when you think of our little shop.
No, because
this is brand new.
This is the Dodge Charger EV Scat Pack. Now, thanks to our friend Rob Miller from MoparInsider.com, we've got the opportunity to take this car out, check it out, take it for a drive. Eric, first thoughts, first impressions, what do you think of the new breed of Dodge Charger?
Brought to you by Dodge.
Very first impressions? Well, I do think it's a pretty car.
It
It's
is
definitely
pretty.
a very good looking car.
I really think so too. I think they nailed the lines. It is reminiscent of the 68 and later Chargers, but Rob was telling us in the back, it's got a hatch like you would have in the earlier Chargers.
Yep. Let's see, and I know it doesn't. Yep, there we go. So yeah. Interesting little gimmicks here and there all over the car that I'm sure we're going to talk about, like the image of a 68 Charger taillight panel up there.
That's pretty nifty.
Here, I'm going to close that. You want to show under the hood, I suppose?
Absolutely. I am dying to know what is under the hood of an EV Dodge Charger Scat Pack.
Well, I would say it's not as impressive as a Charger from the 60s or the 70s. And as Rob was telling us, yeah, it's you want to take it to a car show and show buddies what's under the power barn, as Derek from Vice Grip Garage would say. It's not terribly exciting.
No, it's womp womp, a bit of a letdown. Looks
Yeah.
like we got a open compartment there for some storage. And,
Yeah, very small compartment for storage.
But this car is not shy on power. I believe Rob told us there are two motors, each developing over 330 horsepower.
Yeah, and it's all-wheel drive too. And it's all electric.
You serious?
And he told me to be very careful closing the hood because the latch is rather, there we go, I think that did it. The latch is a little bit flimsy. By the way, for the record, this is not the type of car we work on here. We got the opportunity to look at something a little bit interesting, and so here it is.
It is interesting. This is the future of muscle cars, as they say.
That is disgusting.
Yeah.
Now, we don't exactly go for this sort of thing here at Chase Classic Motors.
No, I got out of new cars. I used to teach, new car repair when I was a baker, but the charm for us has always been the older stuff. But we like to keep an open mind, and I definitely don't want to turn a complete blind eye to the future, so let's see what's going on.
Absolutely. Well, let's take a closer look, and we'll get to know this EV Dodge Charger just a little bit better.
So Rob, you've come to us all the way from your website, MoparInsiders.com, with the Dodge Charger EV Scat Pack.
Probably the most hated car online.
This thing is fascinating. What can you tell us about it?
Well, this is the first brand new Dodge Charger in 20 years. And I've had it since May. It's had some issues, I'm not gonna lie about that. But overall, I absolutely love it. Now, being a petrol head, I'm not a whole EV kind of person. This is my first EV. I leased this car because I wanted to try the whole EV thing out. Since I'm an automotive journalist, I wanted to actually experience the whole EV thing. But since nobody was buying this car, the deals were almost kind of stupid to refuse to pass up on. So after COVID, there's not many cars that you can get with almost 700 horsepower, all-wheel drive, for under $500 a month.
And I know what you mean, because this car did not have an easy berth.
No, it's been plagued with issues. They basically delayed it and delayed it and delayed it. And a lot of that had to do with the former CEO. If you read any of the articles back in April of last year, he actually laid off 2% of the North American workforce. Most of them were software and actual electrical engineers, at a point where you have 2 brand new all EV vehicles that you've never built before coming to market. And on top of that, they have all new electrical architectures with many of their vehicles, including the Ram 1500, and that kind of botched up their whole lineup for 2024 and 2025.
That was really stupid.
The mistakes that guy made that I think almost ruined Chrysler. We could make a whole episode on just that and how I really don't think that European car culture meshes with American car culture at all. And yeah, I got my own very strong opinions on that too. And
the thing is, the Mopar community especially does. So they wanted to go a different kind of world, and a lot of that was pushed by, government incentives, because this car, the reason why they rushed it out was they were getting incentives from the US and Canada to make it launch by a certain date. So even though the car wasn't ready, they pushed it out ahead of time because they had to meet dates.
Way to think it through, Dodge.
So Rob, we were just talking about the difficulties and challenges that the Charger EV had upon its inception. But what are your thoughts and feelings about it now?
Well, having owned this car since May, I have to say again, I'm not an EV person, okay? The car hasn't changed me to be an EV person by any means. I'm still a petrol head. I do love the instant performance and whatnot. I do think this is a great car. I've had problems with it. It did brick just recently, and it was an easy fix. I got it back in 3 days. But again, being an automotive journalist, I kind of expected that, so I'm not like your typical customer. But the thing is again, it's the first new Charger in 20 years. It drives better than any, modern day Charger ever. And overall, I love the actual size. I'm a big guy, obviously. I have 2 teenage kids, so the wife, the teenage kids, and I can all fit in this coupe, which is really nice. But overall, I was telling Eric, I don't think that this is a true muscle car.
The 9 most terrifying words in the English language are, I'm from the government and I'm here to help.
Dodge keeps pushing it as the fastest muscle car out there. It's fast. It's faster than 99% of the cars out on the road, but it's not a muscle car. It is a really good GT car. And it keeps getting better and better as time goes on, because they keep doing what they do now is over-the-air updates.
Now, Eric, I thought that's an interesting point that Rob makes, because we've driven one of the cousins of this car, the RT Coronet, and of course we've had a Charger RT in the shop before. And as much as we know that to be a muscle car, it was also a mid-level upstream personal luxury car.
Yeah, people do forget that the personal luxury cars back in the muscle car days sold almost as well, or maybe even better than the muscle cars, but they didn't get the glory the muscle cars do.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm almost wondering, were those B-bodies of that generation, do we think of them as muscle cars, or do we think of them other places as GT cars?
I don't know.
Touring cars.
Nah, we think of them more as muscle cars, those cars, really. I mean, that's the way we remember them. I really don't think they fit into, I mean, if you're going to compare them to a European car, they're closer, I would guess, to a GT car than anything else they've got over there, but that's not, they're different somehow, especially because muscle car culture, I think, is so different than anything comparable in Europe, which I hope we'll talk about later.
You agree with that, Rob?
I would agree. Again, this car was designed here. It does have a shared platform that goes globally, but it was designed here. The difference between this, like I said, being a GT car and a true muscle car is obviously it doesn't have a V8. A lot of people would assume that in order to have a muscle car, you have to have a V8. If you go down to Australia, that's not the thing there, because they have inline sixes like Dodge is doing with this car. But the thing is if you want to look at like what people consider a an actual muscle car, this thing does not do a burnout. It's all-wheel drive. It's full-time all-wheel drive. It does not disconnect. So you cannot do a burnout in it. So a lot of people will look at that as one of the defining ways that it's not a muscle car.
Yeah, and I honestly think that there's a lot to that. There's something about car culture that's a little bit intangible, and that goes not just to muscle cars, but almost all cars. And, you know, well, even before we had so-called electric muscle cars, if I went and talked to muscle car guys about, let's say, a Buick Grand National, I don't think too many people would argue with me and say, oh, that's not a muscle car because it doesn't have a V8. Somehow the spirit is still there.
Yeah.
Do you agree with me, or am
100%.
I kind of okay?
My neighbor had a Grand National when I was growing up, and that was one of the fastest cars I had ever been in when I was like 12 years old. And the funny thing was, yeah, it was a two-door. A lot of people say a muscle car has to be a two-door, rear-wheel drive, but it had a 3.8 liter V6, and that thing still hauled. It still beat almost every V8 in its class or anything in America at that point. So really, it really depends on the person of what a muscle car truly is.
Yeah, it's a little hard to define, but somehow this car doesn't fit in that category.
I don't think so.
Yeah. All right.
The Dodge Charger for the modern era. Not a muscle car.
Well,
there's a lot to take home with this car.
Yes. So you guys are big into like law enforcement vehicles and stuff, and this will eventually spawn a pursuit model. So we know that. I've actually got pictures of the car that they're going to be showing off. So there will be a gas model and a electric model as far as I've seen, but they will also have coming out later, well, actually in the first quarter of next year, there will actually be a four-door version of this car as well.
Eric, I thought Rob made a really interesting point that this Charger EV will eventually be brought out in a police livery from coast to coast. Officers will be driving the Dodge Charger once again, and here we have the Mac Daddy, your 1994 Chevrolet Caprice 9C1 police package. How do you think it's going to compare when they transform this EV into a four-door police sedan?
Well, to start with, Rob said he's had this car at car shows, and he's had police officers sit in it with their belts on, and for the most part like it. And cops are driving some electric vehicles already.
I tried to tell you, Daddy.
Now get out and push.
But Daddy,
Get out and push.
That is true. Teslas.
I don't think the electricness of it's going to be a problem. As long as the car does what it needs to do, I think it's probably going to be okay.
Because we know police cars have a very hard life, as yours did.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll see. How does it stand up to the abuse? I think that remains to be seen. I know that these cars, like you said, they had a little bit of a problem getting them out, and they had a lot of problems with them when they were brand new, trying to get them in the hands of the public. How will they stand up to the abuse? Well, let me say this. I don't think any car built in the last 10 or 12 years stands up to any type of long-term abuse. I think all cars, that's part of the reason why I got out of fixing new stuff. To me, they're all built to last the end of their warranty, and then they just disintegrate.
They're not going to be around like your 94 Chevy will be decades later.
No, and it's not because it's an electric car, it's because it's a new car.
And it's not because it's a police car that gets hard mileage. It's just because cars of this generation are more smartphone than they are automobile.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the future.
Yeah, it sure is. Oh, I'm getting fingerprints all over Rob's car.
It's the Dukes of Hazzard meets the Jetsons.
Yeah.
Can't we go any faster?
Not since we replaced the old combustion engine with a new electric engine to cut down on dangerous greenhouse emissions.
Besides, you wouldn't want us to go over the speed limit, would you? Set a bad example for some of our younger viewers.
The all-electric Charger Scat Pack.
All right, so all you have to do to start the thing up, it's like a conventional car. You hit the brake and press the power button instead of start button.
Okay.
So when it starts up, it has this clap of thunder noise, and it makes it really difficult if you're trying to sneak out of your house at 4 a.m. because the neighbors will hear it. But when you get in the car, it automatically goes to auto mode. So auto mode is kind of your more fuel efficient mode. It doesn't have a lot of the performance. It's still pretty fast, but it doesn't have a lot of the performance. So this car has different drive modes, and down here on the wheel, you'll see a drive mode button and as well as a selector. So if you go to the left, this is sport mode. And sport mode is the first kind of level that will allow you to use the Fratsonic chambered exhaust. So if you push on the gas pedal, you'll actually hear it. So what that is that's 4 speakers underneath the rear of the car that actually make a noise. And what Dodge told us is they actually used a Hemi, like firing the kind of sound. That's what that what noise is.
It does have the uneven noise of a V8.
But they added turbine noises to it.
Okay.
So it sounds futuristic. So if you go to the next drive mode, that is track.
Okay.
Now the exhaust gets even louder. So if you hit the gas again.
Yeah, it's louder, all right.
So it goes up to 121 decibels, which is louder than a Hellcat.
Wow.
And then you have one final, well, actually you have a couple of other drive modes, but if you go to the other one, it's drag mode. So this is what you use for drag racing. And the very interesting thing is here you have, so the car technically has 670 horsepower at the top end of the car. However, if you're just using the normal modes, it's 600. But then they have this button called Power Shot. So when you press this, you'll hear some weird noises go on, but what it does is it gives you a boost of basically 30 additional horsepower, depending on the mode that you're in. So technically, drag mode would have 640 horsepower. You press this button, you'll see this turns purple, and it'll basically tell you what to do. So if we're in drive right now, and you press that, so put your foot on the brake real quick, we put it in drive, and we hit, oh. So basically it says press throttle within 30 seconds and then it will give you that extra boost for so long. So basically it maxes out the batteries, or not the batteries, but the motors. And you don't want to do it too long because you'll damage the motors. So, but yeah.
What kind of power are we talking here, Rob?
Well, you're talking 0 to 60 in 3.3 seconds if you do everything perfect. This car, because it's an EV, it's actually the tires that kind of limit the speed top end on it. It basically has a speed like limiter to 137 miles an hour. So it's not like a Hellcat that does like, 180, 200 miles an hour. So
how about that?
It's got the acceleration better than a Hellcat, but not the top speed.
Yeah, it's actually 1/10 of a second faster than a Hellcat, but because it has all-wheel drive, it has way wider tires, this thing will hook up and go. So this car is pretty much loaded. It doesn't have, you can get a glass roof option, which I really didn't want. You could get carbon fiber. I didn't want that. But this car has pretty much every option. It has like right here, you can put on, like right now it's hot out, it's 88 degrees, so we can put on our ventilated seats. We have air conditioning, of course, and everything like that. But the one thing I don't like about the car is they went to haptic buttons. So instead of having physical buttons, you have this plastic bar, and if you press it, it's supposed to give you feedback, but it feels like a cheap kind of Fisher-Price toy.
Uh-huh.
But you do have this massive screen, and there's tons of features. There's performance pages, and again, there's different things you can do to this car. So if just depending on what you like. So there's one pedal driving, so it will drive like a golf cart. So as soon as you push on the gas, it'll take off, but as soon as you let off, it'll come to a stop. You have what they call creep mode. Creep mode is what I have it in now because it's like a conventional car. You come to a stop with the brake and you let off the brake, it starts rolling forward.
That's pretty judgmental about the driver, though.
Yeah.
What else does it do?
Press that red button.
Wait, is it gonna kill everybody?
Press that blue button.
So there's a lot of different features. This car has, it's one of those things with modern cars that has so many features, not a lot of people know about them and not a lot of people will use them. So
well,
there's
like
a lot
my
of gimmicks.
phone. It's got all kinds of features I don't know about and don't use.
That's exactly it. So this car even has like an actual hidden camera system up here that will record your performance and stuff at the track.
Wow.
If you wanted. You can see here, instead of having your oil pressure and all that, instead here you have high voltage battery voltage potential power, and then you have the battery temps and of course your front and rear motor temps. So again, you still have the performance pages and stuff, but they're for different things because it's an EV.
Mm-hmm.
But you still have, like here, G-force meter, propulsion. Again, it's basically like the Hellcats and Scat Packs like you had before. It's just now you're dealing with battery power.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little different. But again, the interior's laid out different. It's actually got a dual tier dash, which is different, and you can actually see out of this car a lot better than the old ones too.
Well, what do you think, Eric? We're being dazzled by technology.
Yeah,
Is it
technology
won you over yet?
No, oh God, no. Technology can't dazzle me.
All these gewgaws, all this electronic witchcraft, it's not winning you over with its sexy modernity?
It's fascinating to see, but let me tell you something. For a long time now, you know, every time I go to a party or, you know, Christmas or whatever, an uncle or aunt will come up to me and they'll be like, Eric, good to see you. Hey, I just bought a new car. Let me show it to you. And then I go, oh my God. So then they take me out to show me their car and they show me all these features. And every time I see a new feature, I think, one more thing to break.
Screw that! Anyone want to take a ride in my car?
So, I mean, it's cool as long as it works.
Well, let's see if this Charger Scat Pack EV works. What do you say we go for a drive?
Yeah, it's about time.
What do you say,
We've
Rob?
left people in
Absolutely.
suspense long enough.
We are off.
So this is auto mode. This is how you start the car up. You know, basically it's always in this mode, and this is like the most conventional kind of driving method. So you'll notice that the suspension is adaptable. So is the steering. So it's very soft.
Yeah. It rides, wow, is that smooth? That's the smoothest I've ever gone out of that driveway there.
But you'll see like just how smooth it is in auto. And then as you change the modes, you remember how GM had that what was it, the Magnomatic shocks?
Yeah, yeah.
Right? So these have Bilsteins in it, and they're very similar. So when you change the different modes, the shocks actually have like graphite in them, and they'll get firmer and firmer. And to the point where you're in track mode, it will buck the car because, especially on roads like this where they're just like squares, yeah, the car will be like bam, bam, to the point where it's almost impossible to like be comfortable. Here, we can turn the air on a little bit too. So, is that too loud?
No, we've got the full luxury experience now.
I'll turn around here since that guy's coming. Brakes are very touchy.
Yeah, well, you got to remember, this is 6-piston calipers all the way around.
Yeah.
So 6-piston Brembos, because this car weighs 5,960 pounds dry without anybody.
Without the battery.
Well, no, with the battery.
Oh, okay.
With the battery. The battery itself is 1,200 pounds of weight. So we already know, because Stellantis has been very vocal, they're actually working with a company in North Carolina called Fractal Energy. And what they're doing is they're working on semi-solid state batteries, which will be in this car in 2028. So basically you don't need the big battery packs, and it'll cut down on the weight. So it should be faster and actually be able to have more energy density to put more power to the actual motors that are in the car too.
Okay, so it can convert that chemical energy into electric and physical energy faster.
Correct.
Okay.
So you can put bigger motors in here and basically make more power.
Okay.
So, but yeah, you can see just how smooth this car is.
Yeah, it is very smooth.
Now, if you really want to get a little bit daring, you can take and put it in sport mode. So just press the button to the left there, and you'll hear the Fred-Sonic chamber exhaust. Now you'll feel your steering tighten just a little bit, and you can feel the suspension tighten just a little bit.
That's interesting. I felt the car change.
Yep.
Before you even said it, I was like, oh,
so
something's different.
So you now feel it bumps around a little bit more, but not bad. It's still pretty tolerable. It feels like a normal car in this mode, like what your normal driving, like for example, I have a 2021 Dodge Durango, and it's very similar to this. So
the sound is a little bit like we just went into a lower gear on a more conventional car. And that slowdown that just happened here, that was not me hitting the brake at all. I just took my foot off the gas, and it felt almost.
It felt like a normal brake.
Yeah, it felt like braking.
So you're on the second mode. When you go to sport mode, you're on the second mode of regen. There's 3 modes of regen. So you can actually make it so much like, well, obviously 30% more aggressive. And basically when you let off the gas or the accelerator, because we don't have gas in this car, basically it will almost come to a stop. So technically you don't even have to use the brakes in this car if you don't want to.
Did they really change the lexicon and just make sure they call it the accelerator and brake pedal?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, look at that. All I did is take my foot off the gas, and that's...
Hit the left paddle and try it again. Roll to about 20 miles an hour and just let off.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, a little bit more braking there, huh?
Yeah. So you're regenerating.
Well, that's interesting. So you can control the regen.
Correct.
Wow, okay.
So we can actually see it on the screen here. If we go to power flow, it will actually see, there's your creep mode there, but this is actually showing you right now we're using power for the air conditioning, obviously, but it shows that the battery is supplying the motors with power. So if you let off, you'll see that now it's regenerating.
And it changed color too.
So it's pushing energy back into the battery. Now the interesting thing is like I live near Woodward Avenue, okay? So sometimes Woodward is like gridlock traffic, and if I have it on the second most regen capability, I can actually go from bumper to bumper traffic. I can actually pick up more energy than what I'm actually using. So I actually gain energy. So that's one of the cool things about the car. It's kind of like playing a video game where you want to see how much energy you can make and how much energy you can save. So I mean, there's little quirks to it that are kind of fun as an EV.
Yeah, that's neat. You were telling me earlier that's like seeing your battery with, you've got 100 miles of range, and then 20 miles later you've still got 96 miles of range or something.
Correct. So like when I was coming here, I was in stop and go traffic across 16 Mile Road or Metro Parkway, and I had, I think it was like 2:43 when I left my house, and my house is about 12 miles from here, and I actually only used 4 miles of range getting here.
Wow.
That's it.
Okay.
So again, a little different. Now, try to step it up to track mode. Track mode's gonna get really rough, and you're gonna hear that exhaust a little bit more. But now, kind of swerve back and forth. You feel how tight?
Yep, right away, that is tighter.
Yeah. Wow. And you'll feel the suspension, once we hit these bumps, it's gonna be a lot firmer.
Do you know, is this car steer by wire?
No, it's electric.
Okay, so what I'm feeling there is just the difference in the assist.
Correct.
All right.
Yep. And if you go to a custom mode, like I'll show you in a little bit, you can actually customize how you want it. So if you want the softest suspension, but this aggressive kind of powertrain output, you can do that.
Wow, you can really hear the difference in the synthesized exhaust note in this mode.
Yep.
From where I'm sitting.
So now you're in track mode. So you have 640 horsepower at your fingertips. So come down here. There's nobody around.
The left here?
Yep. Come down here.
Luckily, this is a Sunday, so things are not happening much.
So I want you to come to a dead stop, and we're going to do a couple different things. The first thing is you're going to try it just in track mode, but you're going to do it without launch control. So I want you just to apply a little bit of the brake, give it just a little bit of gas.
A little brake torque?
Yep, and just to the floor.
Oh boy, okay. First time I've ever done this in an electric car. I expect to be, feel like I'm being shot out of a cannon. Ready? Holy
that was, look at, you're doing 54 miles an hour.
Yeah. It felt like less than a second.
And the stupid thing is you're not using launch control, and you're not using the highest horsepower rating yet. But you can see how fast that is.
In the car's defense, I did hear a little tire chirp.
Well, it will actually squawk all 4 tires. If you get on it hard enough, it will actually do a 4-wheel drive burnout.
Yeah. I think I was being a little timid there. I didn't romp it.
The thing that we didn't talk about either is that this car has the optional track pack package. So what that includes is you have 3 25, so 11.5-inch rear tires in the back. So they're massively wide. They're the widest tire other than the Dodge Viper that Dodge has put on a production car in a long time. The other thing is it's got 305s up front with all-wheel drive. So no matter what, like I said, my wife can get in this thing. She went out on Woodward the first weekend we had it. Some kids pulled up with a Hellcat, and she smoked them off the line because the thing I think a lot of people don't like about this car is anybody can get in it and be fast.
Yeah.
It doesn't take a person that knows what they're doing to be fast in it. So if we go back the other way, right here, unless you want to go back up where it's more straight.
Yeah, maybe just a little bit. Plus, someone might come off of M59 there and wonder what the heck we're doing.
That's fine. So if you go right here to the straight, just put it right here. So there's launch control, and launch control is right down here. So there's a button right. I got to take my sunglasses off so I can see. So we hit launch control. It puts it in a different mode here, and then what you're going to do is you're going to put your foot. See how it says continue to apply brake pressure? Push your foot on your left foot on the brake all the way down as hard as you can.
Okay.
See the pressure that you're using? The more pressure, the better. Continue to hold brake and punch and hold full throttle. Now, release the brake.
Okay, that's 70 miles an hour.
It makes the Mach 5 look like a
in our little, whoa.
I just held my breath there for a second.
So it throws you back.
Yes, it does.
So you can see it's got power. When they say it's a fast muscle car, it's fast, but it's still not a muscle car in my opinion.
Yeah, and I'm sure we're going to talk about that because I think this is a great opportunity to talk about car culture, because I think this car has been a sales failure for them.
Correct.
And it's not because of really anything measurable. It's not that this car doesn't perform, and it's not
that it doesn't look good.
Yeah, it offends the car culture is really what it does, which
Correct.
I think that's the most important part of this car to me to talk about. So
now, can I tell you one other thing?
Sure.
That was only track mode.
Okay.
We have drag mode.
Oh boy.
We have 30 more horsepower.
Oh my gosh.
Please no.
Or 40 more horsepower. I'm sorry, 40 more horsepower. So you're in track mode. Switch it over to the left one more time. We're going to do the same thing we did before without launch control.
Okay.
All right. So the first thing is you're going to hit this power shot button. Power shot gives you 30 seconds. Basically what it does is it basically scrambles the computer and allows it to have 40 more horsepower. So hit it. And that was 60 right there. And you can see how it squeals the tires.
Yep.
And now again, that's not launch control.
God. Okay.
So technologically, this car is just on a completely different level to anything that we've ever driven around our industrial park, Eric.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I don't have to tell anybody that electric motors, make torque right now. So, it is going to be a different, they've got a lot to play with. If you want to make something accelerate, uncompromisingly, electric motors certainly do give you a lot of ability to do that.
Yeah, and what we're also seeing too is now with like turbo lag and stuff, they're using electrified assist to basically eliminate turbo lag in certain vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
So electrification definitely has its, kind of capabilities in the automotive world.
Right.
It's just, obviously, to be honest with you, the infrastructure is not there yet to go full EV. Mm-hmm. And because of the charging times, again, it takes like 24 minutes to charge this from 20 to 80%. Where you can go to the gas station and you can go fill up your car in 5 minutes.
Right.
So, all right. So if we get back out there, let's go back to that straightaway. This is the last pass we'll do because I'm sure the neighbors aren't going to be too happy.
Yeah. I'm glad we're doing it from this angle because there's a little bit less. There's less activity on this side of our industrial park than here.
So there's your tire marks from before, I think. So, all right. We are going to hit launch control once again. Make sure your power shot is on. All right, do the thing.
Brake
push,
torque?
Yep, push all the way down to the floor. All the way, hard as you can.
Yep.
Go.
All right, there's 60. Well, I must admit, it is definitely a rush.
Yeah.
It's addictive, huh?
Yeah, it's fun.
Because we drove that GTO Judge, and I want to think we got down almost as fast.
Yeah, the Judge is different, though.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Yeah, it's fast, isn't it?
It's got power to spare. Holy cow.
The Judge is definitely rawer, because even when I'm doing this, I never feel like I'm out of control.
Right.
The only warning buzzers going off in my mind is if someone's going to pull out. Luckily, today's a Sunday afternoon, so...
The thing is a lot of people complain that, this only has 670 horsepower. Well, how many actual places legally can you use 670 horsepower?
Pretty much nowhere.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, it's either an empty parking lot or like a mile and dragway or a dead end street where nobody's coming.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, yeah, when people complain about it, it's kind of funny because
We're in downtown Detroit where nobody cares.
That's true.
I've always thought that was a little silly about people that take, Scat packs or Vipers or whatever, and they soup them up. It's like, out of the box, it can kill you. What do you want any more for?
So, what do you think of, while you're driving this, what do you think of this new squared off shape of the steering wheel? Because this is becoming the new thing, and it's not just a Stellantis thing or Chrysler thing. Because the new C8 Corvette has the same kind of squared off look. This is the new popular fad coming out.
Okay.
Yeah, what's the logic behind that, Rob? Is it engineered for any specific reason, or is it a throwback to the 1950s? As I remember, some steering wheels used to look like that.
Yeah. So Chrysler in their 300s, if you remember, I think it was the 300G, had a squared off steering wheel too. So it's not a new thing, but now it's becoming like a popular fad. I like it because being a big guy, I like to put my hand up on the one hand on the steering wheel so it's flat. So I like that. And I do like how it gives you more room, but it's just becoming like this new trend that's coming across the auto industry that we're seeing more and more.
Maybe we should be moving so I can recharge your batteries.
Oh, you don't have to worry about it either.
It is kind of amazing. What was that range? Was that about 200 miles before, I think?
It changes depending on what mode you're in.
Oh, okay.
So if we go back to auto mode, what's it say now?
Now it's up to 214. It was down to 260 whatever before you did that.
So the other thing is this has eco mode. So if we hit this mode here, it will actually shut down certain systems, and you'll be able to see that the range goes up now.
Yep, now it's up to 224.
Yep. So, and if you punch on it with eco mode, it's not the fastest thing, but it's still like equivalent to like 500 horsepower.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's still very quick.
Yeah. So. But yeah, I mean, it's comfortable, and you can do custom mode. Like here, we got track mode, so you're going to have the most regen. But if you go to custom setup, you can tune sports. Like right now, we're in track propulsion, so it's the most aggressive. The paddles are on, but we're in street traction. We can go to traction to track, but we're also in the softest suspension and steering modes.
Okay.
So you can adjust all that. It just depends on what your driving experience is. Now the question is, do you want to try one pedal driving and see how that is?
Yeah, just for the heck of it, why not?
All right, so remember, it's gonna be like being in a golf cart.
Okay.
So as soon as you let off, it's gonna basically turn right off. So we're gonna go to, let me see here. I gotta think of how this is. See, this is the problem because I don't change it much. Okay. So creep mode is off, now you're in one pedal driving.
So it won't go if I take my foot off the brake.
Nope. So now as soon as you push the accelerator, you'll start moving forward.
That's interesting. I felt it engage.
Yep. And then
it almost feels like an automatic when you put it in drive and gunk.
Yep. And so if you let off, you're just going to come to a slow stop. And you can use the regen to make it stop even faster.
Okay. So is it using regen at all if I don't hit the paddle?
Well, you're using the lowest regen right now. So if you push the left paddle shifter, you can make it more aggressive, so you can add more regen to it.
You can get up to maybe 25 or 30 and just try that feature. Off the gas, on the regen.
Yep. Press it. Nope, you actually have to press it. Like, there you go.
Oh, okay.
Yep, it's not like a hold thing. Yep.
What did you have to do, Eric?
I had to kind of tap, 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 tap.
So yeah, it's kind of a different experience. I'm not a big fan of it. I mean, if I'm going to drive a golf cart, I'm going to drive a golf cart, not a car.
I kind of like the idea of having some control over that too. And one of the things I want to talk about later with car culture and how this car doesn't quite fit in, you know, I think this car does have to have some personality.
Yeah.
Maybe okay, so it stayed where I put it.
Yeah.
Maybe features like that can help people with you know, trying to have some kind of a relationship with a car like this. I don't know. I'm not really a big fan of features. I like things for the most part simple, but
well, you also have to remember too, is we're in a world where not many people are mechanical anymore.
No.
So they like their features. The younger generation, I'll tell you what. So I have a son, I have a stepson who's 16 now. He was 15 when I got this car, okay? He hates cars compared to his biological dad who loves cars. I love cars, obviously. He wants to have nothing to do with them. He's a gamer, he sits in his room, plays games with his buddies and stuff like that. The day I got this car, He loved it.
Huh.
He loves this thing. He actually wanted me to take him to school the very next day because of how it sounded and stuff. So he actually likes it. So this car appeals to a whole different generation than what we are.
Oh, it's the George Lucas effect.
Basically.
They're tooling it for the new generation.
Yep.
Are you sure this is the line for the restroom?
So it's a different kind of world. I mean,
yeah.
I was telling Eric too, I went to an all EV car show, and Dodge has actually built something that not only pisses off the muscle car people because it's an EV, but the EV people hate this car too, because one guy came up to the car, looked at it, and I was talking to a newspaper reporter who was asking me questions about the car, and he just stands there, and I go, hey, the door's open, you can get in it. I don't want to get in. He's like, I don't like it. And the guy from the paper goes, well, why don't you like it? He goes, it's not EV enough. And he goes, what do you mean it's not EV enough? It doesn't look like a jelly bean? And he goes, yeah, it doesn't look like an EV. Well, the guy from the paper goes, that's what I like about it. So you're kind of ticking off a whole bunch of people that you kind of understand, like, that's probably why they're not selling a lot.
Way to think it through, Dodge.
So it looks too mainstream, and yet it's too alternative for mainstream car buyers.
Correct.
So they basically shot themselves in both feet.
In the US, they just released the sales numbers for the third quarter, and so far this year in the US, obviously Stellantis' biggest market, how many of these cars do you think they sold?
I'm guessing less than 10,000.
7,075.
Okay.
And they sold about less than 2,000 in Canada.
Well, you know, it was a team effort, and I guess it took every player working together to lose this one.
Yup. And like I say, it's not that it's a bad car. It's just car culturally, it doesn't fit in.
No.
So, to me, it can't be a muscle car. I think you said it best. It's more like a GT car. Muscle car culture, to me, is freedom and being a little crazy and having a little fun. You know, muscle cars don't necessarily have to get around the track the fastest, but they got to be able to do burnouts and, you know, fun, ridiculous stuff like that. And we all know it's also about freedom and about, you know, the government wants to crush gasoline cars because they pollute. And so, you know, that's what muscle cars are about. They're about rebellion against the man, whether the man is the EPA or the California Air Resources Board or
designs. We talked about the Dodge Rebellion in our episode on the RT Coronet.
And that's what I was just going to say, the Dodge Rebellion.
Yeah, and so, you know, when people, just like the 60s or the muscle cars from just a few years ago, we all know that we don't need 500, 600, 700 horsepower. We don't need, you know, tire shredding, fuel wasting supercharged V8s. But every time a muscle car person buys one, they buy one because it's like saying to the man, you know, you haven't got me yet.
Stick it to the man.
Yeah.
And there used to be a way to stick it to the man. It was called rock and roll. But guess what? Oh no. The man ruined that too with a little thing called MTV!
Obviously, that's the problem with this. There's nothing really wrong with electric cars fundamentally, but when you try to sell electric cars to muscle car buyers, you're offending that market. You're basically telling them the bad guys have won, the good guys are all dead, the rebellion against the evil empire has failed. Now sit down, shut up, take your electric muscle car, and you're gonna like it. That's the problem.
In my day, we didn't have these fancy seat belts that would restrain you if your car crashed. In my day, if you stopped suddenly, you knew exactly where you were going, straight through the windshield.
So I do give Dodge a lot of credit trying to make it
They
sound.
did try.
Yeah,
they did.
Sound.
I think they did the best job anyone could have ever attempted to do at making an electric muscle car. I really do.
But to me, it's not that Dodge failed. The thing is coming from a background that I love, like V8s and stuff like that. The biggest thing I've learned about these cars is, one is EVs are obviously way expensive. So today's world with the economy and inflation and stuff the way it is, a lot of people can't afford these cars, and that's just being point blank out there. If it wasn't like this car here stickers at $79,680. Okay, I leased it. There's no way I would buy an EV right now because the market, if you look at residual values, they fall out. I had employee pricing because I know people from Stellantis. I had tons of incentives because they're not selling the cars, they were sitting on lots. So realistically, I got this car, if I was going to buy it at the time that I actually leased it, it would have been about $51,000.
Wow.
So that's how much of a loss, before I even took it off the lot, this car was worth. Now, on top of that, you have an infrastructure that is not complete. So now, the funny thing is like, 20% of the actual American market, like I think it's like, it's not quite 20, I think it's like 18%, want EVs in the United States.
Costs will depend on the site and what it takes for DTE to provide power to the site. And the site layout will vary from curbside charging to parking lots. Slusser says the stations will be accessible for all vehicle owners.
Okay, obviously a lot of people in California, like those CARB states, but there's still a majority, 80%, that don't want it. So we have been pushing for like EV stations and stuff to be built. And if you look at the map, what I'm really realizing is it looks like we have a lot of EV stations, but there's not many fast charging stations. So when you want to go charge this car in a fast kind of rate, there's very few stations that are over 120 kilowatt hours per hour to charge the car. So if you go to like a normal like hotel and stuff, they usually have like 6.7. This has a 100 kilowatt hour battery. Think about that, 6.7 kilowatts. You know how long you're gonna be sitting there for?
Yeah, it's gonna take a while.
So if you go to 100 something and this has a 100 kilowatt battery, you're basically limiting your time. But the problem is now, is in the last few months, EVs haven't been selling, and everybody's realizing that the EV tax credit stuff's going away. Well, it has gone away. Some of the automakers have decided to pick up the bill for that. But the very interesting thing is, last month, or the month before last, GM sold more EVs than they ever have. So you see those Hummer EVs all over the place. Now what I'm running into is, I used to go to a charging station, and usually per charging station there's maybe 2 or 4 chargers, right? Now I'm running into the fact that there's other EVs everywhere, and there's not enough fast chargers. So not only do I have to wait a half hour to charge my car, but now I have to wait a half hour for the person in front of me to charge their car.
There's no way of knowing how long it would take. It could take an hour, or it could take 100 million years. Is it done? Certainly not. 2 dings means it's done. But not like that. Slightly more rapid.
For me to charge.
Yeah, so the infrastructure is just not caught up to it.
Correct.
Yep.
So in 10 years...
I'm gonna head back to the shop.
That's fine. In 10 years, think about how these cars would be. If they can make it so it's the equivalent of, let's say, refueling a gas car, the same speed, and if they have the price come down in these things, I think more people would be apt to get them.
Mm-hmm.
Because like my wife, she doesn't know anything mechanical about cars, and she loves this thing because you don't have to get oil changes. There's very little maintenance you have to do with these things. So
yeah, and like I said, I think that Chrysler did, or I should say Stellantis. I'm an old Chrysler guy, so I'm having a hard time with that.
It's still Mopar.
Yeah.
It's just mostly Mopar.
Yeah. But I think they have done the best job anyone has tried to do yet with making a, performance car, electric car that someone would like. It's just, it offends the muscle car culture, and it doesn't fit in there. Now, the elephant in the room, of course, is that it's electric. It's got a little park assist, huh?
Yep. You can just watch right back here.
Oh, yeah.
You also have a 360 camera, so you'll see.
All right, I think that's close enough.
When you hear the crash, that's when you've gone too far.
No, I don't want to do that to your car.
So what do you think, Eric?
Well,
it's a lot to take in.
Yeah.
Tons of advantages, the best of both worlds, and yet somehow it still fails.
Well, it fails as a muscle car. As a car, if you're going to use one for personal transportation, I think it's actually pretty good. I keep bringing up car culture because to some extent, without car culture, we wouldn't have our shop. Without car culture, I wouldn't be fixing old cars. I love the relationship, and we could do a whole video on that too, that you can have with an old car that you can't really have with the newer cars and stuff. Now, I'm really interested in what your stepson thinks about this car and how he isn't interested in cars at all until you bring him this. I'd love to see how that plays out in the future, and why he's not interested in, you know, the older stuff or in cars in general, but he likes this. That's fascinating. I would be interested to get inside his head and see how that works, or at least how the future of that plays out.
That's right. 25 years into the future. I've always dreamed of seeing the future, looking beyond my years, seeing the progress of mankind.
I would be really interested if, when you bring this car back, if he has any emotional attachment to it and says, Dad, you're going to get another one, or we get another one like it, or can we not get rid of it and buy it instead, or I don't know. It's really interesting.
But it seems, Eric, the future is here. We're just not welcoming it, that's all.
Yeah, well...
We are old souls, lost in a new generation, in this, the Dodge Charger EV. Any final thoughts, gentlemen?
Well, like I said, it's not a muscle car. I think it's a great daily driver, like you said.
Yep.
Driving it every day, I've put, almost 3,800 miles on this thing. I do like it. It does have its issues. It has bricked on me. But again, it wasn't like a massive issue. I kind of expected that. But the thing is, with over-the-air updates that they keep doing on the car, it keeps getting better and better and better. So that's the difference about today's world. The thing I will say, and I've said this a lot on my live streams and stuff on my YouTube channel, is, again, I'm a petrol head. The one thing that really separates me from really loving this car, because I love it, I love driving it, but I'm not in love with it. And the reason being is, if you're a muscle car or any kind of car petrol head guy, you want to tinker with your car. You want to pop the hood. Oh, I'm going to put a cold air intake, or I'm going to tune it, the carburetor or whatever, or I'm going to put a different exhaust on it. This is pretty much it. You can tint the windows. You can put graphics on it.
Wrap it.
You can put different wheels on it, but you can't do anything with the powertrain.
Yep, exactly.
We talked about that, Eric.
Well,
people have lost the ability to bond with their cars, and that's why we love them.
Part of the way that I think people do bond with their cars, not all people, like I'm sure your stepson is not one of these people, but one of the ways that I think people bond with their cars is by being able to repair them themselves. And that's kind of what, that was one of the biggest reasons why I didn't want to have anything to do with modern cars. You know, when an older car, when a carbureted car breaks down on you, you still have some control over your situation. You know, I drove carbureted cars that broke down on me. Half the time there was something I could do with the side of the road to limp it home, or the car would give me some kind of warning that something was about to happen so I could get home and take care of it at my convenience. Or if it didn't get me home, I could come back later with some sockets and some basic tools and change the alternator or the fuel pump or whatever, and then get it home. I still had some control over it. And afterwards, you know, I knew that the car was running off of my blood, sweat, and tears. It made the relationship, if that makes any sense. I felt like the car and I were kind of working together to get done what needed to be done.
You gave it something and it gave you something.
Exactly. But since OBD2, you know, the car has a problem, it gives you a check engine light, and, you know, you have to hook up a scan tool and talk to it. You know, and since then it's got worse and worse and worse as computer networks have gotten more complicated and there's been more encryption and the scan tools get more and more expensive and you can't use personality keys, you have a smart cable and blah, 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 blah. Now, it's like the car has a problem. You try to ask it what's wrong, and it's like, talk to the hand.
Because the face don't want to hear it anymore.
The car does not want to have a relationship with you. It's not telling you. So that's one way in which we used to have a relationship with our cars, that now it's just a pain in the
Rob has had that experience. So Rob, when the car does brick itself or break down and you can't make it move anymore, you told that story. It's a fascinating story. Where can folks find that story? On your website?
Yeah, they can find it on either my website at moparinsiders.com, or they can go over to my YouTube channel, the Mopar Junkie, and I have a whole video of how I had to dealing with 5 different tow trucks to get this thing to the dealer.
And I want to give a little bit of hope too. I'm sure there are enthusiasts of these cars. The fact that they missed the mark with the EV culture, they missed the mark with the muscle car culture, I could potentially see these being some kind of a cult classic in, you know, 15 or 20 years or something.
Well, if it becomes a classic, we may just have to make a few changes around here at Chase Classic Motors.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll ever go that far, but we'll see.
But until then, the Dodge lives on, and it's been quite a ride. So thank you, gentlemen.
and we shall see what comes next with this, the Dodge Charger EV, in just a moment.
So, Rob was showing me the haptic buttons on the climate control. This is literally the worst thing I've ever touched in a car. And that's not an exaggeration. I mean, it feels super, super cheap. He said it was like a Fisher-Price toy. I remember playing with Fisher-Price toys when I was a kid. They don't feel this bad. And I'm not over-exaggerating. I'm really not. It's horrible.
That was so terrible, I think you gave me cancer.
It's trying to give me some feedback right now, even with the car off. There's like a tick, tick, tick when you push it, but it just, the interface is just, it's just bad. I don't know how else to describe it. It feels really trashy. I'm not trying to be insulting. It's just.
I think I know how. Way to think it through, Dodge.
Way to think it through, Dodge.
I'm not sure what mode I'm in here, Rob.
I think I left it in sport.
Okay, we're in sport mode.
Yep. So if you want, down on the bottom left-hand side of the steering wheel, there's the different drive modes. There's a basically right and left.
there.
If you go to the right one, that is auto.
Oh yeah, auto. Oh, auto mode. Okay.
Hear how quiet it got?
Ooh, it feels sounds just like a Tesla now, huh? Here's a classic.
Oh, I missed it.
Is that a Tempest, maybe?
I didn't see it at all. I only saw it as a black car. Oh, there it is. No, it's a Roadrunner.
That's a Roadrunner. Very cool. So we're driving a state-of-the-art modern Charger EV, and over there was a classic Plymouth Roadrunner.
I'd rather be in that car.
Oh, I see what you mean, though, Rob, Eric. I mean, this is so normal.
Yep.
And quiet and cozy.
This is Clark Kent mode.
Yes, yes. And I could see, I mean, this mirrors in a lot of ways my 23 Jeep Compass. Of course, that's a little four-cylinder crossover SUV, but the steering feel very similar, the braking feel very similar, the display very similar, modern, large, widescreen controls. It looks like the map is trying to display some sort of GPS.
No, it's an error in the software.
Oh, it is?
So that's the only screen that doesn't work for some reason.
Even in the future, nothing works.
And Eric is in track mode. There's the, very simple, a touch of a button, and there we go. And now I've got lots more power, I take it. Yeah.
You know, that for some reason I'm more aware of those.
I keep waiting for the transmission to upshift, and of course it's not going to.
Mm-hmm. But that's interesting because they did say that was going to be a feature early on. I don't think you were with me, but I was at the M1 Concours when this car was first shown to the public, and I remember them saying that was going to be a feature of it, that it was going to, accelerate like it was shifting gears.
Oh, okay.
So, and the other interesting thing is, Rob, you're talking about the air pumps in the. Is that the Fratsonic chamber that makes the vibration noise, or just the sound?
Well, it's the sound, and there's an actual air movement in that.
Okay.
Exhaust. So if you, like for example, if Ross comes to a stop and he puts it in track mode, which if he comes to a stop, he can actually rev the thing up, and you can actually feel the vibrations in the car.
I did feel that earlier.
I do feel it right here.
Yep, I do too.
For some reason, I feel it more from the passenger side I feel than the driver's side. But like this plastic here on the door panel, I totally feel it vibrating, and it's like, and if I had no clue that this was an electric car, I'd be like, oh yeah, it's normal. No, the engineers had to put that there because it's not supposed to be there normally.
The regenerative braking must be on a pretty high setting right now.
Yeah, you can turn it down.
Right now. So if you use the paddle shifters, see the three lines that are on the left side of the actual gauge cluster?
Yeah.
So if you see how that's the most aggressive, if you use the right, that's the least.
That's the least, okay.
So when you start in auto mode, that's what you're in right there.
That's more
Sport,
like just,
you get 2,
that's
track and drag give you 3.
Position 1 is kind of like just normal for a modern gasoline car. Yep. If I add a little bit more, it's decelerating a little more, and then I put it on the hardest regenerative braking. Okay, we're not going fast enough for it to actually make a difference.
Yeah, no.
But if I put it in just position 1, I bet it feels very similar to how, even though my Jeep is not an EV, but modern electric braking systems, I'm guessing feel very similar across, again, another Stellantis product, using similar technology and similar parts and equipment, design techniques. Yeah, it feels very, very normal. This is a nice car to drive. I can tell already.
How do you feel about that steering wheel?
You know, it's not as...
Jeremy Clarkson would have people throw pencils at you about that.
Well,
remember that?
It's not as upsetting as I thought it would be.
No, it's really not.
Because I always drive at the 9 and 3 position per my EVOC training. Unless, as I said in my Police Academy yearbook, I drive at 430, which is down here. And yeah, I mean, that's a very normal, comfortable driving position.
Actually, to tell you the truth, I never thought about the square steering wheel before. Have people said that they hate it?
I didn't really like the looks of it at first, but now that I've had months of using it, I actually love it.
Okay. I mean, I noticed it, but...
A lot of people complain like, oh, hey, it won't slide through your hand like a normal wheel. It does just fine.
Yeah, I think that's nitpicking.
Yeah.
I can see that, you know, myself being hypersensitive and a bit obsessive compulsive, that might, but again, to me, just jumping into this, never having touched it before, it feels remarkably normal. Just because all newer vehicles of this generation that we're in right now feel so similar and look so similar and operate so similar.
And I sometimes wonder if that's part of the problem too, with people complaining about cars having the personality of washing machines, is all of the they've all been engineered to be kind of the same.
This is another smartphone on wheels, just like my little Jeep, and yet I will admit it's got a lot more personality, and it's got a lot more performance and a lot more excitement.
I would say that this does have more personality.
It's a bit more rock and roll. You know, I love listening to classical music, WRCJ in Detroit, in my little Jeep with my fully immersed surround sound and quiet cabin, and yet I can see this as being a boatload of fun until I had to go refuel or recharge it.
So I want to see you actually feel what track and drag mode is like.
Okay.
I admit I was a little bit afraid because of all the power and the torque, but it won't let you
overdrive it.
You do totally feel in control of it. You really do. The only thing, like I said, that I was worried about was a car jumping out of a driveway somewhere.
Oh, God.
Alrighty, so let's see, we're going into
Go into
track mode.
Just give it a little brake torque and punch on it and see how you feel.
Here's a little wheel spin. It's very controlled.
You know, something else I want to mention about the brake torque.
And it decelerates very easily too.
When you told me to push the pedal down all the way, you actually can feel a stop, which I thought was interesting. You know how in a conventional car with conventional hydraulic brakes, it just gets firmer and firmer and firmer until you can't push it down anymore. This car, if you push it as hard as you can, you actually can feel a stop where it won't go any farther. It's not that the pedal doesn't give you feedback. It does resist you more and more. But I was strong enough to push it until I felt a stop.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I mean, I got the full 110% experience back there when I was
no, you didn't.
Filming with the camera.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you want to try it and.
I'm good, believe me. I had my fill of it sitting back there with no seatbelt on and trying to hold a camera steady like Rob's trying to do now.
Okay.
So yeah, I definitely felt what this car can do when you gave it the full goose with a side order of beans.
But it does feel like a conventional, just a normal car.
It does. It does.
The power's instant.
Yes, it is.
That's the one cool thing about EVs. It's like the torque is right off the line.
Yes, because you know when I'm trying to throttle up my little Jeep and it's got that little turbo 2-liter in it, And there's always a little bit of lag there. And I'm like, come on, come on, come on, catch up, catch up. Or I got to keep it at 2,500 RPMs in fourth gear getting off the ramp from I-94, because as soon as I hit M59, I want to be able to get on the throttle, and I don't want any lag. Which, to be fair, my little Jeep has very little turbo lag compared to turbocharged engines of previous generations. They've done a lot of work with that. But yeah, that is the one nice thing about EV technology, and your instant torque, instant acceleration, and you can really feel it in this car. And yet, in the mode that I'm in now, in auto mode, it's so nice and quiet. And the air conditioning is ice cold. And these seats, these buckets, surprisingly comfortable.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, they're probably the most comfortable seats I've actually ever had in a car.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
Plus they're air conditioned too, so you got air
yes,
in your back.
Exactly.
Are the back ones air conditioned too?
No.
I don't think so. Same as my Jeep.
No, these are heated.
They are heated, but they're not air conditioned?
Correct.
Okay.
There's a little bit of Sunday traffic.
Well, a lot of people keep their toys here too, so...
Yes, they do.
Even more so when you guys open up that new garage.
I know. If and when, there's always the unknown. And there's a lot to take home with the new Charger EV. I will say that for it. I do like the way it looks. Eric and I are a little skeptical as to whether or not it'll be practical as a police vehicle. But we know it's going to be able to enforce the traffic.
Police stations will probably have their own charging stations.
Right.
That
like
right there, just having their own infrastructure will help a lot.
Sure. Well, Eric, I got to say, that was a lot of fun. When this EV Charger rolled in here, we've been making fun of it for months, ever since Rob told us that he had one of these. And we've been laughing, and yet I think the Charger's the one now that has the last laugh, because there is a lot to enjoy and appreciate with this car. But I think you and I will agree, this really isn't the car for us.
No, and Rob said it pretty good too. It is a pretty good car. It's just not really a muscle car, and it's a nicer car to drive than I expected it to be, but it's not really fundamentally changing my mind.
To me, it almost felt too normal. It felt so much like a beefed up, better looking version of my little 4-cylinder Jeep. Yeah, my 4-cylinder Jeep can't do what this modern EV Charger Scat Pack can do, and yet it felt so routine. It felt so much like, again, using a smartphone. It's just become second nature to us now.
Yeah, it's got more personality than your Jeep does, but not as much as a lot of old cars do.
Exactly.
So,
and it's attractive. And it does everything really well for what it is, and yet somehow, despite the adrenaline, it just doesn't thrill me.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's fair to say, because it is thrilling. I mean, that speed, that
It's
performance.
a rush, for sure.
It's addictive. Off the line, punching the throttle the way you did, the way I did. The way you can make this car perform in ways that a classic, even your 9C1 Caprice behind us, can't do what this car can do. Mm-hmm. And yet somehow, that still feels more intense, more exciting, more impressive, because of what it could do for the time. And I think being able to, that whole time machine effect is sort of lost. We're just trapped in the future with this car.
Yeah, I guess you could put it
The
that way.
future is now, and as it turns out, it's just not that great. Well, I've had a lot of fun. I think we might be right on the cutting edge, talking about the Charger EV as a police car before it's even become a police car. And Rob has talked about some of the complications that are going to go along with that, the way they've got to reshape the rear C-pillar to fit the extra door in, how they're going to arrange it so that subjects can get in and out of the car. They've got a lot of engineering and a lot of thinking to do with this car, because I think we've discovered in the last couple of years, as the government has not only mandated but experimented with electronic or electric police vehicles, there's a lot that they can do well, and there's some things they just can't do very well. Not unless you're prepared to jump in and out of a different car every few hours during your shift.
Yeah, well, we'll see how that shakes out.
And who knows, maybe we'll see this car back again, and we'll see what comes next. And I can't wait to watch more of Rob's videos with his experiences driving the Charger EV Scat Pack. Well, Eric, this has been a lot of fun. Thanks for the ride.
No problem, and thanks, Rob, for bringing the car.
Thanks to Rob, and we'll be back again with another new age classic right here at Chase Classic Motors. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, maybe we'll keep doing old cars next time.
We will. If you enjoy automotive content like we do, consider subscribing to our channel or check out our website to join our VIP-only high-speed chase club for early videos and other great perks.